Hey everybody, we are back. It's the Ad Age Creativity Top 5 Live. I am Anne-Christine Diaz, Creativity Editor, coming to you from Los Angeles, and I'm here with...
I'm Alexandra Jardine, UK Editor at Ad Age, and I'm coming to you from London.
I'm Ishan Sherwood, Associate Creativity Editor, coming to you from New York.
I'm Parker, a reporter at Ad Age in New York City.
And I'm Jessica Wall, senior reporter here in Chicago. Happy Friday, everybody. Welcome back.
Happy Friday. So we've been on summer schedule for the past couple weeks. So we haven't actually done a live in a while, and a lot has happened since we were last together. We had the Cannes International Festival of Creativity, which was insane because it was all virtual. And there was a lot of great work there. But at the same time, we also saw a bunch of new ideas come out, spectacular ideas over the past few weeks. So we want to look back on those. So before we get started, make sure to tell us where you're watching from, who you are, and we will give you a shout out and follow along with us and tell us what you guys think of the work. So to kick it off, Alex, why don't you tell us what we have at number 5?
Sure. So at number 5 this week, we have a campaign from the nasal spray brand Otrivin, and they created an experimental air-purifying playground for kids to highlight the dangers of pollution to children. They work with Saatchi & Saatchi London and an architecture firm, Ecologic Studio, to develop an outdoor play space in Poland, in Warsaw, in an area that suffers from very high pollution levels. It's called the Air Bubble, and it integrates 52 cylinders of algae, which filtrate the pollutants to release oxygen. And this is also helped by the children by themselves as they play and release oxygen. Let's take a look at some of the behind the scenes film.
Microalgae are incredible organisms. And with our technology, we can use them to clean our city's air. We have gone to one of Europe's most polluted areas and built the world's first air-purifying biotechnological playground.
The uniqueness of this concept relies on the relationship between the architecture and the kids.
Have fun there. The more children play, the more the algae absorb pollutants and clean oxygen is released.
This algae is what's taking the bad stuff out of the air.
The air feels amazing.
The key aspects of this project is to create awareness
that it is indeed possible to clean the air we breathe.
This can't be the only way to help them breathe better. We need to do more.
Can we come back tomorrow?
So that was a really cool experiential idea. And one of the things that fascinated me most was it was from a nasal spray. I think we're starting to see more creative ideas come out of the medical or pharmaceutical realm. And this is an example of that, especially coming out of this year's Cannes, where we did see a number of really inventive ideas in pharmaceuticals and medical. What did you guys think of it?
I think it's one of those things where you look at it and you think, what a shame that we have to do this, that we have to have like an air purifying playground for kids. But I think, like you say, for a brand like this, which would normally have quite product focused ads, it's a really great example of a purposeful campaign. They've actually built something, even though it's a one-off project. I think it's designed to inspire others to kind of push the boundaries on design as well. So I like that about it.
Yeah, the tech is certainly interesting, right? Like, it's outdoors, but I think it certainly could be applicable indoors, which is where most of us are spending our time anyway. And the indoor air quality in many places is awful. But yeah, it's essentially like a new kind of carbon capture technology. I'm a little worried, like it's just these pods of algae sitting outside, and I don't know what playgrounds are like where everyone out there lives, but in places where I grew up, it would take like, I don't know, 4 hours before someone would throw a baseball at it and break it.
Oh yeah. Yeah, the fun is in playing in the playground and essentially like getting the whole thing to work. But yeah, that's what kids do. They also destroy things. And that's incredibly fun as well. I was thinking it would be a great crossover to bring Mr. Mucus into this because it's green and green, nasal, sinuses, mucus. But it also reminded me kind of Burger King's cow's menu, just incorporating these natural materials or natural or just stuff out there in the world to help to clean up the environment. It doesn't, well, maybe it takes a lot of effort, but with some research into what certain materials and substances can do to help the environment, it reminded me of that in some respects. But cool idea. So Ishan, do you want to tell us about our next one?
Yeah, let's kick it off at number 4, where we have yet another entry from Maximum Effort. He's back and he is everywhere. Ryan Reynolds' agency, agency-ish. It's still his agency, right? He sold it to Mountain, an ad tech firm, but it's still his agency.
Yes.
So for those of you who do not know, who may not be New Yorkers, the last time Bobby Bonilla played baseball was 2001. But every year on July 1st, he gets more than $1 million from the Mets because he's a good negotiator. And he got his payout in the form of a 25-year deal, which is absurdly long, is terrible for the Mets books, but is hilarious every year on the internet. Now, Mint Mobile wants you to be able to get a similarly absurd long deal. Let's take a look.
Hey, is that Bobby Bonilla?
Wow. Yeah, it looks like you could still get paid to play.
Wow, Bobby Bonilla, you look great.
Oh, I feel great, thank you.
Man, what's your secret?
Extremely long-term deals.
Could I get an extremely long-term deal?
You can at Mint Mobile. 25 years for just $100 a year.
Wow, that seems really fiscally irresponsible of them.
It does.
That's right. For one day, everyone can get 25 years of premium wireless for just $100 a year. Happy Bobby Bonilla Day.
I think this was a great idea. Like, even if you didn't know about Bobby Bonilla Day, you watch this, it's a funny commercial, and you think, okay, there's definitely some inside jokes going on here, and you're probably going to go look it up and find out about it. And then, of course, you find out about this deal, which I don't know. Did anyone buy it?
Well, Jessica was really.
I came very close to buying it. I really did. My finger was on the trigger, but I thought it was a fabulous idea. And Rosalita also thought it was a fabulous idea.
Yeah. Hi, Rosalita. She's so excited about it, and she's pissed off that you didn't get it.
Will dogs have their own cell phones? Because maybe she needs one. She has a lot to say. But they keep coming up with new ways to advertise the brand.
Rosalita will be the next maximum effort spokes dog.
Spokesdog. Yeah, but I really thought about it, and now I might be regretting it, just like the Mets might be regretting what they've done for the past 25 years. I don't know.
So I'm wondering if this is going to happen every year on Bobby Bonilla Day, or is it just today?
Well, yeah. If they bring it back every year, it would kind of lose its magic, right? But at the same time, it would build more brand awareness. So I guess
I feel like they need to find more celebrities that have like weird deals or contracts, and then make a day for them. They could make it into a thing.
That's a good idea.
I wonder if did anybody watching take advantage of this deal, or what do you think of Bobby Bonilla Day?
Yeah. So let us know, and maybe we'll have you as a guest.
It's clever though, because usually these kind of ads for mobile phone bundles or deals for me, I find them really, really boring. I just can't get interested. So it is a good way to make it more interesting and noticeable.
Yeah. But before we move on to our next one, we have some shout outs. We have Santiago from Colombia, Chris from Ohio, Spencer from Sri Lanka, Deepak from India, Pooja from India as well, and Marissa from New York. Hey, everybody. Thanks for watching. I know it's Summer Fridays, so a lot of you are probably not even there. So if you are there, or if you're not even working and you're watching us, thank you so much. We always love to have you watching by our side and commenting along the way. So next up, Parker, tell us what we have.
More sports is what we have. This was a pride campaign from the NFL with the agency 72 and Sunny. This ad that, as you can see, says football is gay, reclaiming kind of the not so nice way that people sometimes call things gay in this very minimalist ad spot that we can watch.
Yeah, let's take
I think I love this ad because I think that the NFL has such a broad audience and a broad reach. It's, football events are the most highly watched things on television. Right. So I think that this is, a risky thing for them to do, but something that they're proud to do. And it really comes through as a meaningful message, not only saying football is gay, but then adding in the rest of those phrases and even ones like American, and to say football is for everyone, I think is a very meaningful stance from the NFL.
Yeah, and it came on the heels of a major announcement from Raiders player Carl Nassib, who just ahead of Pride Month came out on social media. And so he was the first active NFL player to do so. So it was a quick move. This wasn't pre-planned. The NFL was already supporting the Trevor Project, but following Carl Nassib's announcement, they came out and made this ad, which was super simple, super quick, but it got straight to the point. And I thought that was one of the best things about it. It didn't need all the bells and whistles. All it needed was the statement. So yeah, that was cool. And the NFL has had its issues with diversity, not only with LGBTQ community, but with, people of color rising to management positions. So this is the NFL working its way to, becoming more diverse and inclusive. Parker, you also did a big roundup of pride campaigns for our Ad Age. So where do you think this falls in the realm of that?
I think it falls pretty high on the list. Like you said, the NFL has not always done the best job at supporting its players. And I think that this coming out on the heels of, like you said, one of their players coming out openly as gay, is really nice. So I put that high up on the ranking that you can read on the Ad Age website.
Yeah.
Yeah, the NFL has done a lot in terms of PR recently, which is good, especially when it results in actual changes within the organization. I think recently they did a survey and found that I think it's like 49% of people who watch the NFL are women, and they realized okay, well, we're sort of leaving so much money on the table by not reaching out to more audiences. So it's nice to see something like this. Also, I remember just a few years ago, like the organizations like the Trevor Project or Trans Lifeline weren't really household names, and now you see them pretty much everywhere in these corporate initiatives. And I think that signifies that they really sort of made it to that next level. And I'm really glad that plenty more money is getting funneled to them.
Yeah, Jessica, Alex, what did you think of this?
I thought it was very well done. It's simple. It's to the point. The words catch your eye. I did like the logo, the rainbow logo at the end. I hadn't seen that from the NFL before. And it's very subtle but powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's very, very minimalist, like you say, but it really does feel like you're making progress when you see something like this from an organization like the NFL. I don't know so much about the NFL, but I know what football or soccer is like in the UK, and it's been, there's hardly been any players that have come out publicly, and it still has a very long way to go. So I can sort of imagine the same thing happening here, but only very recently.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, also historically, the NFL is known for these huge Hollywood-style productions, for the Super Bowl or other big events. So I think to go so simple with this had a lot more impact because of that. But anyway, nice work from the NFL and 72 Sunny. So Jessica, why don't you tell us about our next one, which is an outdoor effort that's super cool.
Yeah, sticking in the sports realm, we have an outdoor swim billboard. This comes from Adidas and Havas Middle East. So this is an ad, and this was also an experiential piece of work that shows how people can wear its new inclusive swimwear. Why don't we take a look at the video? So that giant pool, which was filled with, I guess you could call it a pool/billboard, was filled with 11,500 gallons of water and was on a beach in Dubai. It's being proclaimed as the first ever liquid billboard. And then videos of it were shown on a screen at the Dubai Mall ice rink, so people could see what was happening over on the beach. What did you all think of this? It's an interesting way to remind people about swimwear, but you're at a beach, so do you need a digital billboard? I don't know.
I would swim in it. I would totally swim in it. I think it's like a giant fish tank.
Right.
Yeah, I'm wondering if in the real world people were lining up to try to get in it, because this teaser video is so simple. I think that's what's so compelling about it. It's so dramatic. This quiet thing happening in the middle of the beach, and all you can hear is the sound of the waves.
Yeah, that must have been early in the morning or something.
It had to have been right. It had to have been right at sunrise or something, because there's not spectators.
I know that they sent the swimwear to influencers beforehand so that they could put it on and swim. So they got to take their turn.
Oh, okay. In the billboard itself.
In the billboard.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so awesome. And one of the things I thought was really interesting about this is, this is Adidas introducing its own inclusive swimwear line, which includes a burkini, I think. And until this point, Nike has been the brand promoting, inclusive swimwear for women in the Middle East. So I guess in order to compete with Nike, who has had, had a head start in the space, Adidas had to do something to make some noise. And I think this did a good job in doing that.
It's also great to have more than one entry in the marketplace. I know plenty of hijabis are like, I got new swimwear. It doesn't really stay on when I dive or like when I swim, quickly, like I would like to, training or something like that. So, I think that competition is going to make both kinds of swimwear better.
Yes. And the advertising better too.
Yeah, more swimmable billboards. That's
That's what we need. It's hot summer. We need more swimmable billboards.
So
I'm just wondering how. Sorry, I'm wondering how hot the water would have been in there, because I know that it gets so hot in Dubai in the summer. I have a friend who lives there that they have to chill the swimming pools.
Oh right, yeah. And it's the worst thing to swim in I'm in 115-degree weather right now, and it's the worst thing to swim in a hot pool when it's hot outside. Like you think you're going to get refreshed, but you feel like you're just sitting in soup. But anyway, before we move on, Parker, you want to read our next shout outs?
Sure. Hello to Lori from Nevada, Lisa from Washington, Orion from France, Alan from Ohio, Irina from New York, Jay and Prashant from India, Elizabeth from Canada, Mary from Georgia, Hugo from Mexico, Jacob from Germany, Laura from California, and Rajendra from India.
Oh, awesome. So many. Thanks, guys. Thanks for watching. And we have a QR code if you guys want to check out all the work we're talking about. So just snap that and it'll take you straight to the story. But before we move on to our number one work item, we have some special extra bits and pieces from the first one. Actually, I'm super excited to talk about. Parker and Jessica both wrote about it. So you guys want to tell us about this?
Sure. I think when I saw this campaign, it was a moment that I will remember for the rest of my life. Airheads entered the chicken sandwich wars with this delicious looking item on your screen. That bun is made from 100% Airhead Extremes candy. And then in between has just your typical chicken sandwich items like fried chicken, coleslaw, there's a sauce, pickles, and the sight of that sauce dripping down towards that bun just haunts my nightmares. But I was not
haunts
able to
your
try
nightmares.
It unfortunately was not available for me to try in New York. I was devastated to discover that it was only available in one city, Chicago. So I knew exactly who to call, Jessica.
Yes, I was one of the lucky few. Lucky? I was one of the few to try a sample of the Airheads chicken sandwich. The sample did not look as appetizing as that picture. It didn't look unappetizing. It was just a little hors d'oeuvre sized taste, if you will. So if anybody wants to recreate this monstrosity at home, take some Airheads, cut it in half, and then in the middle, put some lettuce, put some chicken, put some cabbage, pickle, find a sauce in your fridge, maybe drizzle some on there. And you too can enjoy what I was able to enjoy. So if you want to see, I did not actually get a chance to save a sample for you, but there is a video in the story that we can watch briefly to see my reaction to this delicacy.
Cabbage, lettuce, chicken, fried chicken, lettuce, pickle, spicy, and the spicy mayonnaise. I'll put it all in at once. Ready? There we go. Sweet and sour. Sweet and savory. Not cloying this one. Like, oh, there it is. We don't some people's favorite thing. They only eat these Airhead Extremes. You want to try one?
Sure.
Okay.
This is the work I do for you people. I hope you appreciate this. It was a lot of fun. I will say the sign outside the restaurant made it look like that, the actual image that you're seeing there. But it was just a little sample. Airheads got themselves into the conversation. There's talk of maybe bringing this to a food truck. So maybe it'll hit New York or LA. Alex, I don't know if it'll hop over to London for you. But yeah, not a week or day or hour really goes by without some kind of chicken sandwich news. And why not, America? Like, the sweetness is not terrible with the chicken. It's the chewiness that threw me off, for sure.
Oh, okay, wait. So
The
it's
texture.
it's
just
just
Airheads.
chicken between Airheads.
With a little bit of crunch from some cabbage or some lettuce or whatever. But it was more you taste the chicken first, and then as you're chewing, the Airheads-ness.
So it's like somebody accidentally dropped some Airheads into your chicken.
Kind of.
Chicken.
Kind of.
So, okay, first of all, it's like deceptive advertising. That teaser photo of the Airheads chicken sandwich, that looks like an actual bun. And Airheads are not bun size. So I'm wondering how it got that bun shape. It looked like they covered an actual bun with Airheads.
It's the strip ones, but still.
I was told it's 100% Airhead and that they fused the candies together to make the bun. So if you actually had that bun, I can't imagine the amount of strength you would need to bite through that much candy.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I will say at the restaurant, it was just the strip of the Airheads Extreme, is that what it's called? And then, just cut it
belts.
and then
Yeah.
put the top and bottom of the sandwich. But it was not terrible. It is not anything anyone ever needs to eat again.
So
is that an endorsement? No, it's more of a acceptance.
Wait, so acceptance. Wait, so what's the name of the restaurant that you actually? Let's give a shout out to the restaurant.
The restaurant
creation.
Is Francis's. Anybody in Chicago in the Lincoln Park, Lakeview area, it's Francis's on Clark. The chef Derek Ryland was lovely to talk to, and he was the one who was serving me the sandwich you saw in the video. Their normal sandwiches are, on bread, sourdough, challah, whatever,
On bread.
regular bread.
I mean, to be fair to this ad, does a Whopper actually look like any Whopper in an ad?
True.
You open that wrapper and
Or a Big Mac.
It's true. Yep. Any of them.
Let's not play favorites.
No, that's true. I mean, we definitely see pictures of the new chicken sandwiches from whatever restaurant, and then you go and actually get your own, and you're like, oh, is this the same thing? So sure.
So in that video, when you said, "Oh, there it is," was that what was hitting you?
That would be Airhead.
Okay.
Like the chewy sugar, those crystal-y pieces that sort of pop, they're not pop rocks, but that the texture gets to you. I think it was the texture that was more interesting. Like when some of you may recall when I had that macaroni and cheese with the candy in it.
Right. Yeah.
That was the flavor profile was different, but the texture was the same. Here, it was the texture that was totally different than the multiple chicken sandwiches I have tried.
I'm getting all these
for the public.
ideas, like fruit roll-up chicken sandwiches.
Please don't give them more ideas. They do not need any more ideas.
Slim
Kit Kat chicken sandwiches.
This is 100% something all of you at home can make for yourself.
Oreos chicken sandwiches.
Yes.
Oreos announced a new flavor. What was it?
Yeah, I don't need an Oreos chicken sandwich in my life. Although I guess, if you think about it, if you go to a fair and they have those fried Oreos, that's kind of the same thing in reverse. Like the Oreo on the inside that's fried, has the batter on the outside. You could make that with a chicken batter, I guess. Again, these people do not need any more ideas from us. They work their magic often. And I'm here to live and see what happens if I try them. So
live or
thanks, Parker.
Not. Yes, Parker, you're going to say something?
I was just going to say that were you referring to I recently had a 4th of July Oreo that had Pop Rocks in the Oreo.
Oh.
Is that what you were talking about?
I saw Oreo had an announcement of a new flavor, but I missed the live Twitter announcement, so I don't know what it was.
Could be anything. Maybe it's a chicken sandwich Oreo.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. Anyway, I think we need to cleanse our palates a little bit. So let's have some beer, Alex.
Yeah. So yeah, from food to drink. This is Corona doing something a little bit unusual for in a retail environment. They're turning around their bottles on shelves in Argentina so that you can't see the Corona branding. Got nothing to do with coronavirus. It's to do with highlighting the fact that they're made from all natural ingredients. And then they have an ad campaign to go with that. There's also signage in the stores which tells you that that's what they're doing.
Yeah, I thought that was a super cool and simple move. Again, another simple move. They didn't have to do anything. They just had to turn their bottles around and then, do some messaging around that. So that was, I just thought that was super smart. What did you guys think?
Are bottles of beer normally sold like that? Like individual bottles of beer on a shelf? That looks very dangerous to me.
Only at bodegas.
Right, but not like an entire wall of beer. It's interesting. It's funny because to me, the bottle's still clear. It's not like it's a green glass bottle where you're only seeing the ingredients. Like you can still see that that's the Corona label through the bottle. Not that that's a bad thing. It's just, it's sort of funny.
I mean, we talk about Heinz campaigns and like not necessarily using the name or whatever. And like when I see that bottle, I mean, I'm like, oh, that's a Corona, right? Like you don't even have to like peer through. It's like if that color, right, that shape, whatever, that's a Corona.
Yeah.
I do feel a little bit bad for like the poor like 16-year-old stock kid who has to go through and turn all of them around because people just put them back on the shelf willy-nilly. So.
Yeah. Hopefully he was paid extra.
Yeah.
But speaking of Heinz, we do have yet another Heinz ketchup campaign.
Yeah. So this one actually brought up a bit of debate. So, when you go and you buy hot dogs for a barbecue and then you buy buns and they don't match up. The number of hot dogs and the number of buns is never the same. So Heinz came up with what it's calling it's Heinz Hot Dog Pact. It's trying to get people to sign a petition so that hot dog makers, including Oscar Mayer, which is owned by the same company as Heinz, and bun makers can agree on a number of how many hot dogs and how many buns should be in the pack so you don't end a barbecue with leftovers of one or the other.
7.
7.
No,
okay.
A nice uneven number. Wait, so which one has usually more? Is it the buns or
I think the buns
hot
are
dogs?
usually more. I think it's usually 8 hot dogs and 10 buns. But I mean, it depends, right? Depends on which brand you're buying. Also, like if you're buying sausages, then it's not going to match up. Anyway.
Yeah, well, that maybe the sausage makers should have more.
Right. And this comes from Rethink in Canada, but it is a full North America campaign. So all the people who hate putting ketchup on a hot dog can respond to that as well. Like, what is Heinz place in all of this? Heinz does make mustard, but it's not obviously a huge product for them. Heinz is ketchup. Heinz is ketchup, right? So I don't know. I wonder how many people are going to sign this petition.
Should we watch it? Let's watch it.
Yeah, we can take a look.
The hot dogs are sold in packages of 10, while there are 8 buns to 1 bag.
What am I gonna do with 2 leftover hot dogs? Make it make sense. Make it make sense to me.
I want the number of hot dogs in a pack to be the same.
Doesn't this just lose money for bun makers?
No, I think
give away 2 free buns.
Or make fewer hot dogs.
Or make fewer hot dogs. I mean,
Right, but they say 10 and 10.
People,
we want 10 and 10.
They want 10
but
and
what
10.
about the people who don't want a bun with their hot dog? That, you know, the
Yeah,
people who are doing gluten-free or whatever.
What about putting your hot dogs in Kraft mac and cheese? Like, that's what you do with extra hot dogs.
Right.
I thought the picture of the hot dogs on the white bread is just the most revolting thing. It's the most revolting thing, and that's even more revolting than an Airheads fried chicken sandwich. But it has to be at the end. That I thought that was really, really smart. It's just a very basic, right? They're trying to build up to this hot dogs and bun thing, and it has to be, and then the bottle of Heinz right next to it was just.
Yeah, I kind of take issue with Heinz makes hot dogs better because I do not like ketchup on my hot dogs.
Yeah.
Controversial.
Well, yeah, no, I mean, it's
ketchup on your hot dogs, Parker?
I like ketchup on my hot dog.
Just ketchup or ketchup and it's too much sweet.
I put ketchup and cheese.
Interesting.
What?
Do you put American cheese like that photo?
No, shredded cheese.
Okay.
Wait, so do you put ketchup, cheese, and that's it, or
That's
mustard
it.
too? Ah.
What's
Okay.
the issue?
Well,
Some
I mean,
of us do not like ketchup on our hot dogs.
from the man who brought us the Airhead chicken sandwich. Saying, Parker. So.
Okay, so yeah, we're talking about hot dogs, so we obviously have to talk about hamburgers now.
Yeah, let's stick to this whole sandwich thing. I don't know, or hot dog sandwiches, whatever. That's an
Oh, don't
argument for
start
another
another
day.
thing. Yeah.
So we've talked about fried chicken, McDonald's in Paris, in outdoor campaigns from TBWA Paris, has yet another very minimalist set of ads. Can we just scroll through a little bit? We'll take a look at this. What does this look like to you? What image does this conjure to you? And if you said a Big Mac, you are exactly the audience that this is going for. I will say, so if we keep scrolling at some of these, you know, they've got some of the other sandwiches in here. A lot of these feel just like, I just think hash brown, but also that's my favorite thing at McDonald's. So maybe that's just me. I'm just like, yeah, it's a pile of hash browns.
Oh wait, what's this one?
Yeah, I didn't know.
Is
what this
that
one
maybe
was.
Is that a
fillet of fish?
Fillet of fish.
There's green. I don't know.
That's right.
The last
Yeah.
one makes a lot of sense.
This one, yeah.
Yeah.
We know exactly what this
This
one
is
is.
pretty obvious.
The
It
Big
feels
Mac
like
and the Mac fries. Yeah.
it looks to me like you're playing an old Nintendo game and you just like put your face right up to the screen.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, like
Or
Minecraft or something.
If you step back really far away, they become really clear to me. Like I zoomed out and it's like, oh, okay, I could see it.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. I think when I first saw this, I was like, would I really recognize this if I didn't know that it was a campaign for McDonald's? But I think maybe if you see it on a massive billboard, it would be a little clearer.
But yeah, it's another move from TBWA Paris that leverages how iconic McDonald's famous menu items are. You don't need every single detail. You don't need them to spell it out. You're so familiar with the products that these really abstract ads will still speak to you. Oh, looks like McDonald's Minecraft. Exactly. Or Lego.
Or Tetris.
I saw Tetris,
Yeah. But yeah, I like them, I guess. I mean, I would recognize them on the street.
What was the tagline on those photos? The slogan?
Where it's guess, something very
small. Guess who's back or something.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's because they're advertising new restaurants or maybe restaurants reopening in a place where they once were and have closed and reopened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So speaking of reopening, let's move away from food for a little bit. As the world has reopened up in various areas, over like 4th of July holiday, and recently we saw brands trying to get people excited about going back out into the world. But one malt liquor brand wanted to make sure that people were also safe and protected when they did so. So let's take a look at this next campaign from Four Loko.
Well, hey there. I'm a doctor, and I have some excellent news.
Oh yeah? What's that, Mr. Doctor?
You don't have STDs.
There's no better summer feeling than laying next to someone that you want to fuck and knowing confidently that you don't have any STDs.
I want to fuck you and I don't have STDs. But I'm embarrassed.
Don't be embarrassed. Look at all these cool people who got tested. Everybody's doing it.
I'm laying weird in a chair. I'm on a beach with no STDs.
I don't have any STIs or STDs. They're the same thing. I know. It's confusing.
This is a green hat. I don't have any STDs.
He didn't give me STDs.
She also didn't give me STDs.
It's been a while. You're about to get back out there. Do it safely.
I can't wait.
The 4Loco STD kit isn't really made by 4Loco. Also, it doesn't test for being dumb, being sus, or being whack. 4Loco cannot take responsibility for any choices you make once you find out your test results, or any choices you make ever, really. 4Loco is your dad. 4Loco.com/get-tested.
So yet another creative pharmaceutical type ad. This was probably the most outrageous back to normal ad that we've seen so far. And prior to the 4th of July holiday, 4Loco put out this contest that, if to give people these branded STD kits so they can test themselves before they go out into the world. And I thought this was funny and a clever use of stock photography. I've never seen stock photography be so fun before. What did you guys think?
Speechless. We're speechless.
Yeah.
I thought it was really funny, really funny. Just love some of the lines there. And,
And speaking of reopening, okay. This is very 4Loco, right? Like, it is buck wild. Like, it ends, the last line in this is 4Loco is your dad. Like, but like, there's real information, right? Like, hey, did you know that STIs and STDs are the same thing? Like, that's useful information for people, I think.
It's
so
PSA.
Yeah, I'm all for it.
Yeah, I don't.
Do people actually order these kits though? That's like, did they go to the trouble of making a kit? Did they just put their label on a kit? There's a lot.
They did go through the trouble. It was with agency Zaddy. But it's a clever idea, but I don't think it's going to make me want to drink 4Loco. Right?
I was wondering.
But the brand association.
What the insinuation is. Yeah.
The brand association, like, we know our target audience
exactly.
Often, might need these kits. I'm not really sure. Hot back summer, people. Hot back summer.
Back summer. Okay, so we're going to tone it down a bit. So now we are at our number one idea. And this happened a couple weeks ago, actually, in the throes of like the Cannes Festival. Everyone in the industry itself, we were just focused on that. But this was a big idea that came out that week. And it was from a gun safety organization called Change the Ref, which was founded by Manuel and Patricia Oliver. There are two parents who lost their son, Joaquin, during the Parkland shooting. And they are known for their super creative campaigns to promote gun safety. And this is a graduation stunt that they and Leo Burnett and director Brian Buckley pulled off. So let's take a look at the video.
David Keene was the two-time president of the National Rifle Association. He continues to be a staunch defender of your Second Amendment right to keep and bear arms. Therefore, it is my privilege to introduce to you David Keene.
Let me begin by telling you what an honor it is to be here to help celebrate your graduation. Picture for a minute the young James Madison, for whom this school is named. This year you focused on one of the most important of Madison's amendments, the Second Amendment. There are some who continue to fight to gut the Second Amendment, but I'd be willing to bet that many of you will be among those who stand up and prevent them from succeeding.
911 emergency.
Defending it is a challenge.
So this campaign was called The Lost Class, and it had two videos of David Keene, who was a former president of the NRA, and John Lott, who is a gun rights advocate. They both thought they were going to be speaking in front of a graduating high school class. But it turns out the class that they were speaking to was basically the 3,044 high school kids who had died due to gun violence this past year. So they didn't actually get to graduate. They were the lost class. So Keene and Lott actually thought they were going to be speaking during a graduation, but their speeches were filmed. They were filmed thinking that they were part of a rehearsal, but it turned out that the film portrayed them as actually speaking to this lost class of kids. And it was pretty much a big prank on them, on these gun rights advocates. And it got a lot of attention in across mainstream media. And so what did you guys think of it?
Yeah, it's powerful. It's one of the things that has come up in conversation a lot over the past week or two, with people in and outside the advertising industry saying, did you see this? Which doesn't normally happen with a sort of PSA style ad. I don't know that you would call this a PSA, but the imagery is powerful. The trickery, people are mixed, I think, about.
Yeah, I mean, that's one thing I kind of took issue with a little bit. Reading other reports from BuzzFeed and the Washington Post, they spoke with David Keene and John Lott, and they said that, their speeches were edited in a certain way. And also they were encouraged to speak about, gun rights, basically. And so it seemed a bit unfair to them. But when I think it was the Washington Post spoke to the Olivers, or Manuel Oliver, and basically he said, well, they're gonna, they should have done their background checks on the school that they were speaking at, right? Because it wasn't a real school. It was a fake school that they made up in Las Vegas.
Right.
And everything was legit. It was done legally and legit. And actually, Leo Burnett used the same lawyers that Sacha Baron Cohen uses for his Borat films, I think. So they made sure to everything was above was done properly.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of pranking, it's not that different from something like a scene from out of a Borat movie.
Yeah. But yeah, I thought that was pretty powerful.
Yeah, really powerful. And like you say, it has really been shared on social media by lots of different people, not as an ad, but just as a kind of news story.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I think it's interesting how over the years, Change the Ref has done a good job of sort of bringing Joaquin back. They brought it back as a digital AI avatar using deepfake tech. And a lot of their campaigns have been about saying, what would Joaquin have done or wanted had he been able to live out his life? And this is sort of the flip side of that, right? It's very much about the absence of people rather than what is it that they could have done? It's what does it have what have all of we lost?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Parker, what did you think of it? Did you see this in the real world?
No, I saw it on Ad Age. So, but I agree with everything that's been said. I think it's really powerful and a conversation that's being, highly debated right now, and having such a strong visual depiction of something like this, I think is a really meaningful, set piece for, that argument.
Yeah, no, that is a good point. Just to look at the actual craft of it, the setup of all those chairs, those rows and rows of chairs, which are actually tombstones, basically. It's such a dramatic visual. So it was really powerful. But that's it for this week. That's our top 5, and we'll bring up the QR code once again, and you can snap that and check out all the work. Thank you for joining us. We will be back, I think, in a couple weeks because we are on summer schedule. And I'd like to thank all of our team here today presenting, and also our production dream team in the back. We have Anna Sakula, Steve Raddick, and also Arabella Breck on social. And have a great weekend, everybody, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye,
everybody.